But thought we might try to set a Nebraska record and see how many free throws we let Palmer shoot tonight. Give Nebraska a lot of credit. That's a veteran basketball team who jumped on us early. It was uphill from the get-go, and we never really got anything established for long periods of time at either end. And it's really funny when you spend a couple of days and most of our talk was about not fouling. The one thing Palmer does is he puts a lot of fouls on people. We want him to shoot the ball, and yet we've got to grow up in that area. We've got to become a little more disciplined, and that was frustrating. But he's an awfully good player, and that showed today. And then it's was our turnovers. When you're realistically starting three-point guards, you would hope that you wouldn't have as many turnovers as we did, but that's something we got to grow into. Again, give Nebraska credit. They're in top 5 in about every defensive category out there. They play to contest everything, and I thought they did a great job, especially on Aaron, making his life very difficult. Io goes 3 for 12. And that when we don't shoot the ball very well, we've got to and turn it over that much. It's going to be a tough night for us.
With that three-point guard lineup, I mean, you like what that potentially gives you, but has it maybe not delivered what you maybe saw earlier in the year?
Well, I don't want to say that. I think there's been some positives by it. I think that. I think the one thing that I'm probably concerned about as much as anything is the ball being out of Trent's hands too much. Trent's been such a good facilitator. He really grew in that area this year. His assist numbers are down at 1 tonight. But, I think it's, again, it's one of the things that we fight a little bit with because Io is such a good passer. And he sees things, but yet tonight was more matchup based than anything we were trying to exploit. I felt pretty good because we had Watson in foul trouble all night, and yet we can't turn the ball over as many times as we're turning it over. We've got to find the right mechanism to get Georgie the ball consistently. Georgie's having such a good freshman year. He's a great threat inside, and yet we got to continue to grow there.
So just with Trent having the ball in his hands maybe a little more, does he need more than 2 shots in the first half?
Yeah, no doubt. He's an all-league player. He's a guy that had explosive moments, and we fight that with a little bit, Scott, with all 3 of those guys, and sometimes we try to do too much. But I think we've got to we're still in the identifying roles on our team, and I think we've got to know that Trent's a guy that's going to be option 1 or 2, no doubt.
What's Kipper's role right now?
I think we're still working on that. It was nice to see Kipper do some things tonight. He's been in a little bit of a funk. We watched a lot of film in terms of this preparation. Watched last year's game and just how much harder he played last year. I liked it. I liked Kipper today, and so I think he's got to be a big piece of what we do because of his size and his ability to shoot, and he can be an elite rebounder when he wants to be.
Stat sheet says the only Illini that finished in the plus-minus column was Tyler Underwood. Talk about what he gives you that you can't get from scholarship players in those
Smart,
sports.
IQ, knows the system backward and forward. He's been around a lot of winning. He's seen how it's been done right, and especially back in SFA and Oklahoma State and how it works. And so his positioning is very good. He's an IQ player, and his he's not afraid to stick his nose in there and grab a couple rebounds as well, and try to take charges. He's just, he's a kid that does a lot of the little things.
He was pretty excited when he went for that loose ball and got the
yeah, I think that speaks to his place on this team and how important they know he can be, and we talk a lot about the little things, and Tyler does those.
Conversely, you were a little bit upset about when Allen first entered the game and had a turnover. And
something we've been talking about a lot with him. He's had, I think, 11 turnovers in his last 2 or 3 games, and it's something we've been stressing. You've got to be dialed in. You've got to have an intent, and Allen's going to be a heck of a player. And I love that kid to death, and he's an offensive weapon. He can shoot the cover off of it, but you can't turn it over. You can't shoot it if you don't have it.
After the Notre Dame game, you were pleased after even just maybe how the team competed, and then came in on their off days this week. Did you expect more or better today after the lead-up?
Well, no disrespect in any sort of capacity to Notre Dame. It's a little different environment, and it's the first Big Ten game. Everybody knows everybody a little bit better. This place was a little more juiced, a little more atmosphere than in South Bend, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. So I was really curious as to how life on the road is, how we were going to act, and I think that's one of the things that I'm disappointed in, and there's got to be a toughness and an edge, and again, you got a team with fifth-year seniors and four-year starters, and they have that poise. We did not, and that's something that we saw today.
As good as Georgie.
This is the last question here.
As good as Georgie's been, getting back in foul trouble today after kind of handling that maybe better on Tuesday.
Yeah, they're bad fouls. He committed 2 fouls on offensive rebounds, just going over the top and slapping at the ball, and then he commits 1 at half court, and those are where he's got to understand is he can't get frustrated, he can't get emotional, and he's got to stay dialed in because we need him on the court. And Georgie's one of the better interior guys in this league, and he can really score the basketball, and we need him on the court. There's no doubt. Thank you.